Hello and welcome back. This is episode 158 of NooBTooB, a weekly independent podcast where Yuzo and I are back from PAX, where we're able to avoid the small PAX H1N1 swine flu epidemic of 2009.
Yes, a lot of people were asking us how did we manage to avoid it, and the trick was to not do any dangerous activity. For example, we did not go to the Omegathon coughing contest.
No, that seemed really dumb, actually, in retrospect. And secondly, we were the only people the entire weekend that did not sleep with HP 1703.
That's true.
That guy is a bigger whore than your mom.
I hate you so much. And, you know, finally, the last thing we did, we skipped the Lick Felicia Days PSP for charity event.
Yeah, we tried to arrange our own Lick Felicia Day for charity event, but that was kind of thwarted by angry guards.
Yeah, didn't the security guard also recognize you from the furry incident?
I told you to stop mentioning the furry incident. It never happened. Forget that. So I'm Tobin
And I'm Yuzo Watanabe. This week we are talking about the Penny Arcade Gaming Bukake-a-thon. Oh, my eye.
Yeah.
Oh, my nose.
Oh, my God. So we played so many games. We played all the games you guys are excited about for the next year.
Oh, my God.
We know what was good and what sucked, and we're here to tell you all the hotness.
That's right. Before we get started, we are going a little bit, recovery mode here.
Or drinking tea.
Got some Earl Grey action going on here.
Yeah, we actually did get a bit of a cold from the event. We didn't get the actual swine flu, no shit swine flu.
Yeah,
this is not like haha swine flu. This is like a bunch of NooBTooBers are sick with swine flu.
Yeah, so Draco Master definitely got diagnosed with it. Locke is in quarantine.
The Bugabba seems to have gotten it.
Like a bunch of people were like, dude, I was worried.
Yeah,
I was sitting there going coughing my lungs out.
I made out with all of those guys.
I know.
So I'm worried. I'm worried. Which is why
How did you avoid it?
I don't know. It's why we're drinking tea. I got.
It's good stuff.
I kind of fight off germs with my own anger and lots of alcohol.
We did drink.
I find that the more you drink, the less you get sick.
I think that must have been it. We drank a lot more while they went and played a lot of board games.
That must have been it. That's it.
So we got a lot of games, dude.
PAX, so Penny Arcade Expo. We spent 4 days up in Seattle.
Yeah.
And they brought it this year, man.
What the hell, dude? The exhibit floor was like 10 times better than it was last year.
Yeah, and
so many amazing games.
I mean, it was about the same size. I mean, the show got bigger, but in terms of what people brought,
I know.
Last year they would be like, here's this game that's coming out in a month, but all the games that are in the future, they're like, oh, here's us playing it, or here's a video, whatever, but they brought playable shit this time.
Oh, no, I mean, some of the games we're going to be talking about, it's just and another thing is, these games are coming out in 2010. Yeah. A lot of them. So we get a nice sneak peek, we get to actually get a good feel for the games. Yeah. And, do you want to get started?
I'll do a little bit of a spoiler. They had Diablo 3 playable. That was my biggest surprise of the show. I was just like,
seriously?
Blizzard doesn't ever let you see shit early.
They had StarCraft 2 last year at PAX, though.
Yeah, but didn't let people play it, did they?
Yeah, people were playing. I played it. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I'm saying, they actually did that. So what I hope that they release Diablo 3 before next year PAX.
God, I hope so. For fuck's sake, that's it's Blizzard.
We were looking at StarCraft. We were like, they've got to release it by the next year. I know.
We actually got emails. You remember that? We got emails from people that are like, I know a dude that works at Blizzard. I can tell you for a fact, StarCraft is coming out in June. Of 2009. No. Whatever, dude.
Not gonna happen.
That's why we don't pass on insider information very much. We get a lot of emails from people like, I got a friend who's blowing this dude who works at Nintendo, and he says for sure that it's like we're not we don't do rumor mongering.
No, because
they're usually wrong.
Yeah, it's usually wrong. We usually whatever. I mean, it's kind of funny sometimes. Yeah. But for the most part, when do you think some of these games are going to come out? You think Diablo 3 will be? I won't even.
I think it'll be. Yeah, I think it'll be 2010. I think it'll be sometime in 2010. But I'll probably be wrong. I mean, I don't even know. Seriously, they've already announced that they're going to have Final Fantasy 13 in Japan by the end of 2009.
Yeah.
I will not.
December, dude.
Yeah, but I would not be surprised if we didn't get it in the U.S. in 2010.
Oh, we've got. I'm not going to make a bet with you.
See, that's what I'm saying.
We have to. They even said all this reports of Square Enix, bumping up and starting to do all their voice stuff at the same time as Japan. So it's going to be a little later.
Here's hoping.
We'll see. But dude, let's get started. We have a lot
Brutal
of
Legend.
Brutal Legend.
Yes.
It's gonna be so good. So we got to play it like actually. We played it while Tim Schafer was nearby. He wasn't talking to us though.
he was. It was one of those things where it's like we're up there, we're waiting to play Brutal Legend, and over off to our side is Tim Schafer, and I'm just like.
You're gonna tackle him, dude.
I was seriously. I was like, I wanted you to hold up the camera, and I just run over and just like start nuzzling his neck and be like, "I love you so much." What podcast are you from? I'm not gonna tell you. I'm from G4.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like to say, like, look, we played Brutal Legend with Tim Schafer in about a 10-foot radius.
Yes.
Of us.
He was close to us.
He was close to us. But yeah, dude, it looks great.
It's awesome. It is the shit. So it's basically the same demo that we got to see on the net. There's the developer playthrough on the net that's floating around out there. You can watch Tim Schafer and his buddies play through 15 minutes. Yeah. So we got to play through this, and they let you do the whole thing.
And my understanding is it's an entire tutorial level. So when they're going to have a little segment, some sequence of you going to this land. And then all of a sudden, bam, you're done. You gotta like figure out how to use the axe. I'm like, dude, the controls feel really good.
It felt solid. It felt the only thing I wish is that we had gotten. So they basically walk you through the fighting and the driving. So you're in the car, you're going around. But one of the big things I'm excited about is the squad control, where you got your headbangers, and they can go around and do stuff because apparently you can actually do top-down like RTS shit.
Apparently there's RTS elements, there's like weird Pikmin elements, and I don't know how they're mixed together.
Yeah.
It's a huge open world. Like we even got to see it. Like after you finish the demo, you can go out on the land in your car and then go everywhere. The world is huge.
Yeah.
Like ridiculously huge.
So the combat feels really good. The humor is hilarious. Like just all the dialogue, all the backdrops.
Like the joke depth.
Yeah.
Right? The density of the amount of jokes that you see in the dialogue is ridiculous. Like every other word, you're like cracking up.
Yeah.
So.
And the thing is you and I talked about this about a year ago. We're like, we love Tim Schafer.
Yeah.
I don't know if a joke about heavy metal is going to work because kind of like the School of Rock era is over. Like that was kind of a thing for a couple of years ago, but it works for me.
It works
really
well.
does because heavy metal albums are just stupid funny. Like I love heavy metal, but the albums just like it's just like on top of a pile of skulls, just like with like a vampire woman sucking his dick, like playing guitar, like exploding the world with his rock.
And the way that he made it happen was like everything's such an inside joke. It's just like, wow, this is like a weird land that I'm in, but it's really cool. It's really rocking, right?
Yeah.
And just like the tone of it is perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the other thing I'm kind of excited about, he said we were talking to the PR guy, and he was saying, by the way, this started as a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
Which is weird, right? So I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. So the multiplayer component is supposed to be really solid
because that's where they started. They were planning on having it be multiplayer only.
Yeah.
And then they completely changed their mind, which I'm glad of because I love the single player stuff.
But even so, I'm really hoping the multiplayer would be cool. If you can go around with different Eddie rigs and like doing the multiplayer aspect, it'll be awesome.
And it's got Ozzy Osbourne in it. It's got a bunch of other people in it. It's got the guy from Judas Priest in it. A whole bunch of guest stars. Like just it's going to be.
Ford in it too?
Maybe.
I
I don't even know. She probably plays some demoness. So I mean, I have nothing bad to say about this. Like we played Brutal Legend, we sat down. It works. It's going to be the shit we're going to buy at launch.
No problem.
Absolutely.
Now my question is, you do know it's same day as Uncharted.
I'm not talking about that.
We'll talk about it when
we already decided that
Now, but after you play, okay, we'll talk about it later.
I know. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to buy both. I'm going to set a timer. And like once an hour, I'm going to switch between my babies. I'll be like, I'm sorry, Uncharted. Okay, Brutal Legend. Because the cool thing is I can leave them both running.
So you're going to get your remote and be like, okay, PS3. Oh, okay. Oh, 360.
Just leave it paused. Just leave it running. Just that's it. My whole day.
That will be awesome.
That'd be a good day.
You'll not be working at all the entire time.
I will be very sick. Next was Mag.
Mag. So Mag is the one that we were talking about before. It's 256 players at the same time.
Yes.
First-person shooter.
Right.
And they had a big booth at the Sony, and I think they had like 200 people, at least 200 people.
Did they have that many?
Dude, I was looking at the screen. There's all these different squads. I had at least 100 on my side.
Yeah. So you think they were letting beta testers because I mean they didn't have 200 things there, so they must have just let other people in. Yeah. So what's the story with this game?
So it's your standard sort of your first person shooter team squad base. So you're doing it except on a huge massive scale, right? You have different squads of like up to 4 or 8 or something like that, and then you have some commander telling you, oh, do this, all these different objectives.
Massive hierarchy.
Oh yeah. And like helicopters turn into like our spawn points.
Yeah.
I mean it's huge, right? And like the other cool thing I saw was the the APCs.
Yeah.
Like I spawned in a moving APC.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was just like holy shit. Like who's driving? Why are you crashing into a wall? Because you still get that sort of thing. But, I played it.
I hear a but But
so you play. I'm curious to hear, since you're not a huge first-person shooter / especially team multiplayer.
Right.
What do you think of it?
I thought it kind of felt old.
Interesting. Like how?
There was just something like we played so many beautiful, polished games that weekend that it kind of looked like a first-person shooter from like 4 or 5 years ago. Like it just,
really?
The edges were a little jaggy, the colors didn't pop. It didn't there was just a lack of solidness to it for me.
I definitely agree with you. I would say like 2007 era, like SOCOM, right? That's kind of like the general feel. Granted, you are playing with 200 people, so that's pretty impressive.
Yes, so they obviously focus on the networking code to let a lot of people play. But what did you think?
So I like to play a lot of these games. I like Battlefield, like all the other ones. This one, the controls to me felt like just about every other kind of not so good first-person shooter, where you are looking like Battlefield Bad Company. Like it had the same sort of thing where you're shooting at somebody for a really long time and they don't die.
Right.
Right. I had the same thing where I would see somebody, we'd be shooting, we'd be going around for about 5 minutes, and finally I would die or they would die. And it's just like, it's just, I need something sort of immediate. I need all this sort of thing. And I think there's going to be a certain element of people out there that enjoy that sort of game because they enjoy Halo, they enjoy SOCOM, they enjoy Killzone, all these other games that do that. But for me, it's like, the mechanics suck. So
I mean, you kind of want the world where there's like a rocket launcher and a sniper rifle, and like you kind of if you catch somebody off guard, it's like bop 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 bop. They're done. So it's kind of more of a you want like
it feels immediate. Like it's like Counter-Strike. It's like Call of Duty. It's like all these other games. And this one is the exact same problem with all the other ones, where it's just like you're shooting, you see the little reticle. I'm like, wow, I just put like 2 clips into a guy and he's still not dead yet.
Yeah,
it kind of pisses me off. So that's the general feel. I like the idea of 200 people, 256 people,
and the squad stuff could be very interesting. I know that this is going to be very popular with people when it comes out. We'll definitely, we'll give it a try when it comes out.
We got beta keys.
We got beta keys, so we'd actually give it a shot, and we'll come back with a better review. I mean, we played it for a couple minutes on the floor.
Yeah.
But what we're kind of telling you guys here is the things that's just like, did it grab us? Because there's a bunch of games on the floor where it's like you play for 10 seconds and you're like, fuck, I am buying this game right away. And Mag was kind of like,
I played for about 3 minutes and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm kind of done.
Yeah, it's
like
kind
I don't need the full amount of time like I did with these other games on the Sony floor.
So it's kind of
As opposed to the next game. The next game, all I needed to see was about 10 seconds of video that I can't even play.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Surprise of the show.
Surprise.
So
I know nothing about this game.
I had never heard of Brink. And it's just kind of like a sleeper. Like
I know.
Most of the other PAXers, most of the other NooBTooBers that we were with at PAX were just like, oh, yeah, maybe I think I read something about that a year ago or something, but I mean, nobody was excited about it. And we show up, and Brink just has this screen where once every, hour, they would do this long-ass playthrough.
15 minutes.
15-minute long playthrough, and it just looks like the sickest shit I have ever seen.
So how does it work? So it's kind of like a first-person shooter, except you're doing a squad-based, so you have a team, right?
Yeah.
They added this weird mirror's edge element where you are sliding down the screen. Like you basically can see a guy, do a couple of bursts at him, slide, reload while you're sliding, hit a wall, climb up, go down, shoot, throw a turret.
Yeah.
Like
very, very, very fluid movement.
Oh, it feels so good.
And so the combat looked really good. The graphics are some of the best I've ever seen.
I'm actually skeptical. Like I do not believe they can make the 360. They had 360 controllers, right? And I'm sure it was on a PC, but
yeah. I agree with you. I seriously think that whatever actually, but it wasn't like a movie. It was like this was playable, but it looked better than we know than a 360 can make. It can't do graphics that good. It was too good. So I mean, unless they've got the smartest programmers in the world that have somehow hacked reality to make the 360 able to do shit that it couldn't do before, I don't know that it could possibly be this pretty.
My understanding is that they had to have multiple PCs because when they were showing it on the screen, they had 9 LCDs kind of hooked together.
Yeah.
And I bet you they had fucking 9 PCs driving each one of those because
it looked
that good.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
So if it looks anywhere close to that good when it comes out, I will jizz in my pants.
Yes. Even if it doesn't, though.
Yeah, no. So that's just so it looks really good. The combat's really good, but then you get into this aspect of the world is kind of open. Like you've got these general directives. You need to get from here to here. You need to kill these guys. You need to do whatever. But you can pull open the I think it was the right the bumper.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, here's 7 submissions. Would you like to pick one of these?
For experience points.
For experience points. So if you're like, oh, you want to do this mission, it's 300 experience points. You have to change classes. You have to become the engineer or the medic or something. And then we give you a new goal.
Yeah.
Just on the fly, just picking up sub-quests from the ether.
Yeah. And it's all based on the thing. Like, there's this one thing where you have to get this one robot to the end of the zone. And there's so many sub-missions, right? Like, one is like, you got to put turn down and put covering fire as an engineer, right? Another one is you have to interrogate someone. And the interrogation is fucking awesome.
Yeah, you're just fucking up his... Yeah. Like, you're actually, like, stunning him with a stunner, like hitting his nipples with a shocker.
And he's like, finally, I'll talk. And it's like, boom, mission accomplished.
Yeah, mission accomplished. That you tortured the living shit out of this poor guy. So I mean, just everything we saw about it was tight. Like it flowed, and it was one of those things where like I would pay you $100 if you let me take this game home right now. It was like one of those. It was like
100.
One of those,
I'd pay like $200. Seriously, dude.
It was that good.
And they had all that elements where it's like a little bit RPG-ish, where they were saying like, here's my favorite weapon. He had a grenade launcher, right? And he was just like boop, and you would just see like all of a sudden plus 25, plus 25, plus 25. After you killed him, you're like, oh shit, you know? Like,
it's like experience candy. You're just like, oh, yay, experience points. So yeah, they're kind of learning which things push our buttons, and this one pushed all of our buttons. It was just like every single element looked
8-player co-op.
8-player online co-op.
Oh, done. Sold.
So I mean, I'm very curious how the mechanics of this are going to work when it actually comes out. Like, does one person pick the subquests and everybody else can participate in them?
I bet you they're dynamic, or such that like if you're the engineer, like if you can, like they say, okay, you be the engineer to be the turret, right? It shows up with everybody, but the person that picks it takes away from everybody else. Because they were talking about during
people are independently doing submissions.
Yeah, because they were talking about how like the hardest thing with these sorts of cooperative games is that everybody wants to be a sniper, and then their team loses because everybody's hiding out, right? So what they do is they encourage people to do things like be a medic, do these other things by increasing the amount of experience points. So it's like this weird sort of
there's
like
more
reward.
Of a reward. Yeah, exactly.
So and that's just smart. Like that goes into exactly everything that we wanted to go into these sorts of games.
Yeah, there's mad game theory going on here. I mean, like someone probably got a PhD making the shit behind this game. So it's just Brink looks awesome. I cannot wait for it in 2013, whenever it comes out.
Spring 2010 is what they said.
Is that what they said?
Yeah.
That's optimistic.
And it comes from the people that did Splash Damage. You heard of them? So they did Enemy Territories Quick Wars, which I really liked the demo, but then they kind of screwed it up in the release. But it was a fun game where they had all the turrets and they had missions and all this stuff. So it seems like they're really bringing it together and making it look fucking awesome.
Yes. So huge, awesome game. Speaking of awesome game, Diablo 3, motherfuckers!
I don't know, dude.
Yeah. We'll rent it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see if
it could be good.
So
we'll see.
We actually got to play Diablo 3.
Oh my god.
It feels good.
It feels perfect.
Yes.
Like perfect. Like you go and like I remember playing Diablo 2 and just like wow, and it's just like so addictive.
Yeah.
When I sat down and like, let me just pick the wizard, and I started like clicking shit.
Yeah.
It felt like I was.
Yeah, there's like a heft. There's like a heft to the controls that Blizzard is really good at getting, where it's not one of these things where it's like the mouse moves sluggishly, or you click on things and guys don't respond, or you click a spell and it does. I mean, like Blizzard is really good at just tuning it so that when you click something, you didn't know what it was supposed to feel like, but that's what it's supposed to feel. You know what I mean? Like they're giving you something you didn't know you wanted.
That's exactly right, because like you pick like one of the things is like you're casting a fucking fireball spell or something like that, right? You click it, you hear this whoosh in your ears, you see it travel, you see it hit something, and you hear this like kind of and like things explode in these blood spatters, which like not every single one was different.
Yeah.
And like all that together was like, yeah, that's right. And
exactly.
It's hard to explain, but
it's tough to explain, but I mean, it was one of those things where it's like you and I sat down, and I remember this because we were both playing, we kind of looked over each other, we're like, yeah. Which is just so funny. Like it's like one of those reactions where because it was one of those rare times where we got in early enough that we got to play at the like you're not waiting in a line of 30 people. We got to sit down and play, and it was just one of these things where like I played for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. I'm just
that's
like,
all we got, really.
That's it. I mean, sold. I'm gonna buy this game, and
Didn't you get that feeling though? Like when you like the one thing that really like struck me huge was like I was like playing, I was like clicking, and it just brought me back 10 years ago in my dorm room.
Yeah.
When I first got Diablo 2.
Diablo 2 blew my mind. When I first played that game, it kind of reached into my gut, especially when you could play with other people. Are you kidding me?
I know.
That was like in college when we got a bunch of people playing Diablo 2 together. It was just like that was some of the most fun I've ever had.
Fucking ninja looting. It was awesome.
You bastard. You son of a bitch.
I might have ninja looted you. I don't know
probably
if you ever had a stranger pop up in all my games. It might have been
Yuzo W.
But yeah, so I mean, we're going to cover it. Hopefully, it comes out next year.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's one of those ones that really it looks awesome. So next up is Dantes Inferno.
Yeah. This is the game that's going to try to take on God of War 3.
That's right. So it was not getting very good buzz of the show, and we went by to check it out, and we kind of saw why. So it looks like the game isn't released yet, so they've got time to tune it, but it's not tuned very well yet.
No, it does. It feels like they're trying to copy God of War 3.
Yes,
right. That's the basic thing they're doing. There's a lot of quick time events, and also there's a lot of gore, all sorts of crazy stuff. But like, it didn't pull me in.
No,
I don't know what is it about. Like,
the thing that really bugged me about it is to me it looked like the mechanics were laid bare to the world. Whereas like as opposed to God of War, where it's like this demon is fucking knocking at buildings, you're jumping on his hand and running underneath and blah blah. Like it's like a dance. Like you don't know what's going to happen. But the bosses that we were watching them fight, it was like arm comes down, run around, push a button, arm comes back up, throws 3 fireballs, you dodge them, arm comes down. Like it was this God of War ripoff that was so mechanical. Like it was just memorize these steps, but it wasn't. You're not fighting a real demon. You're fighting a pattern. You know,
you don't see that with God of War because you do after a while. But I'll give you God of War.
They're better at hiding it. Yeah,
they hide it immensely better. This one, because the annoying parts of the demo was the fact that the boss was unkillable.
Yeah,
right. And they started you off with a lot of quick time events.
Yes,
which is just like, come on, seriously.
Yeah.
I had also already played God of War 3.
That's
so the direct comparison
is a little bit
of
a disadvantage for Dantes Inferno for sure.
So yeah, I'm still going to probably check it out, but
but I mean, we kind of came away just being like, it's pretty. It's obviously a God of War clone, but it's not like they did anything new, and it's not like they raised the bar. And honestly, it didn't feel as good to me.
It didn't look like it sucked.
No, it's not going to be a bad game.
Yeah.
But we're not super excited, obviously.
Not anymore. Not after playing.
No. So next up was Uncharted 2.
Yeah, so are you going to get this game?
I'm thinking about it. I'm on the fence. Like, I wanted to play it at the show to
rental,
really
like
see.
Not buying it now?
Yeah. Uncharted 2 is the shit.
I know.
Did you get to play?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Dude, like, doesn't it start out fucking awesome?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
So you get to play the demo that you see, the start off. Remember the big like single player video that they sent out. So you get to play a lot of that.
Yes. So we've seen a lot of this. There was some stuff that I hadn't seen before, but the big thing is just the environment being so big. Like before, you were kind of in a jungle and you knew that there was like a wall to climb up. Yep. Now you're in a city, and they're not super. They don't hold your hand. You know, there's a lot of just kind of like, dudes are shooting at you, you better get the fuck out. Find a way to get the fuck out.
Yeah, and you can die. I mean, you can die. It's actually like kind of punishing.
Yes.
You do need to find cover. You do need to do all this stuff. But what I really liked about it was like you were going around the city and like almost, it felt to me like anything you could see, you could climb.
Yes.
Didn't it kind of like that general thing? There's a couple of places where you couldn't, and I was like a little disappointed. But for the most part, I'm like, I see a pole over there. Let me see if I can climb it. Oh,
and
look.
you can.
And he's like, boop, boop. He's like a little monkey going all over the place.
Yeah, and you can climb up on stuff, and you're swaying. You kind of jump to other things, and things are falling down, and like they really kind of have taken the Uncharted 1 world and just stepped it up. Like the combat feels great. The AI is really nice. Like they're actually flanking me. They were doing some very clever battle stuff.
The set pieces were fantastic.
Yeah.
Like right when you start out, you get to, and then all of a sudden a car starts chasing you.
Yes.
And all you're doing is going back and shooting, but just the act of doing that, I'm like, I'm in a fucking movie. Like, there's something really amazing going on.
Right. It feels like Indiana Jones. Yeah. Like you're getting, which is exactly what we said about the first one. Just like, hey, have you ever wanted to play a game where you fucking are Indiana Jones? Uncharted.
Yes.
And this has the same feel. Like we didn't get to see any of the really interesting dialogue, which is one of the big things that sold me on the first one, but I'm assuming it's there.
Well, they showed some of the cutscenes, and the cutscenes still are riveting. Like where a lot of cutscenes, I'm like, yeah, whatever, skip. Like I don't think I saw you skip the things where you skipped. Like when we walk around with Tobin around the different things, just like, hey, what's going on? And then skip. I'm like, fuck, come on, I want to see something everywhere you go. And then you go to Uncharted, and he's like, oh, Drake.
It's true. And it's just like the games with the unskippable things. There's like somebody talking on the screen. I'm hitting every button on the controller. I'm like whacking it against the table. It's like, why can't I skip this? I just want to play the fucking game. Shit, there's my pens. Yeah, so it's just Uncharted. Yeah, It's got everything that I've ever wanted in a game. I'm going to have Nathan Drake's love child. I hope he's not too mopey. From the one little bit of cutscene I saw online, he was just kind of like, I give up. This is too hard. And they're like, no, Drake.
It's character development. They're going to make him start off low and, out of sorts. And then
he was so funny, and he was so kind of like relentlessly cheerful in the first one that I really hope they don't make him kind of a mopey little shithead.
He's not going to be emo. I mean, come on. They'll make him, a little down, but I'm sure it'll be for good reasons.
It better be funny. It'll be funny. So next up, Bayonetta.
What did you call it?
What did I call
What
it?
do you call it?
Retarded, hilarious tarded.
Hilarious tarded. That's right.
Hilarious tarded is the term that I have coined for Bayonetta.
And
it totally is hilarious tarded.
Well, look, so you're some chick with guns and I guess punches and stuff like that, except your suit is made of your own hair.
Yeah, so your hair is somehow making all of your clothing.
Yeah.
And then when you charge it for a super attack...
You need your hair.
You need your hair, because that's your super attack. It whips up off your body, so you're kind of standing there butt naked with some hair around you.
Yep.
And your hair becomes a dragon that starts eating people and doing, making gigaton nuclear attacks.
And the thing is, I'm playing that, I'm like, I'm not complaining, I'm not questioning. It all makes sense to me,
yes.
Doesn't it?
It doesn't make any sense to me, but it still ends up being very entertaining.
Yeah.
It is pretty interesting. I mean, it's Devil May Cry.
Pretty much, yeah.
It is Devil May Cry.
Very Devil May Cry. But it's so ridiculous.
I'm done with the tea.
All right. Is this your beer tea?
This is my beer tea. It's my Kirin Ichiban.
But yeah, no, it's definitely very interesting. It's not. I don't think it's going to be as anal as Devil May Cry was.
No,
you people that really love Devil May Cry and doing all of the different difficulty levels.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be into this game.
It felt like a Devil May Cry with God of War, kind of there's going to be these big motherfucking fuck you in the butt enemies. They're grabbing set pieces from the world while you're on them. I mean, that was kind of cool. The world was
badass.
Very malleable.
And I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of variety. I think they spend a lot of time on the different dragons that turn into big, all sorts of different shit that your hair turns into. And they're very selective about the, where the hair goes.
Yes.
Which is good for their M rating.
Yeah, naked hot chick helps a lot.
A lot. It's actually more like naked Sarah Palin, though, if you think about it.
She does kind of look like Sarah Palin. You just ruined that game for me. Damn it.
Sorry, dude.
Ew. But yeah, so the whole thing is her running around doing ultra mega combo attacks, and if you... For some reason, the biggest mechanic in the game is dodging right before somebody hits you.
She gets a witch time.
Yeah.
That's right.
And once it's witch time, everybody moves slow, and you can do double beat-up monkey punch attacks.
Pretty much.
I had a hard time really following what you were doing or why, but it doesn't matter. I mean, basically you're just running around with guns, and the cool thing is anytime anybody drops a weapon, you can pick it up.
Oh yeah, and it's actually kind of badass. When I picked up that, you're fighting this huge-ass fucking monster with this huge-ass thing, it drops it, you pick it up, it's nice and small. And you actually...
It was hilarious, too, because it drops this 30-foot-long axe, and you pick it up, and you put it in your back, and it goes... But then when you pick it up to fuck up people, it comes out and it's whang.
Yeah, and everything feels awesome. It'll be fun. Yeah,
absolutely. It's not going to be game of the year or anything, but it's just kind of
probably solid rental.
Hilarious tarded is definitely. So, next up is God of War 3.
Yeah, this is,
Looks pretty good.
It feels pretty good. Yeah. Did you actually get to play it?
I did.
Okay, good. Because when I was playing and I was just doing everything, it brought me back to when I was playing God of War 2.
Yep.
They took everything that was amazing about it and just amped everything.
Just turned it up.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of what it feels like. This really feels like what they wanted to be able to do with the previous God of War games, and now they've got a machine that can do it. Because everything is just all of the ways you interact with the monsters, grabbing the harpies and flying on them and just kind of jumping around and fucking people up.
The sheer number of creatures that will come, they'll actually swarm you, and then you rah, and then throw everything together. Oh, yeah. It's full of awesome, right? It's
it is.
That's really what it is. Every single moment is is this moment awesome enough? They're no, not yet. Hold on. Let's add, tearing off the harpy's wings and using them themselves.
That's right.
That's
awesome. Right. All right. Let's more intestines when we kill that guy. Let's just turn that up to 11.
Yeah,
it needs more awesome. Have a mountain exploding in the background and Zeus jacking off on some serpent's face. Ah!
That's more awesome. Okay.
Awesome. You're right though, because it's like they're like, what does a 13-year-old want from a game? Let's put that in this game.
Pretty much.
Turns out that's what we want out of a game. It's the same
inside,
fucking thing.
We're fucking 13.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's exactly how it is. Like I can't say enough good things about this game. This game is going to be freaking amazing.
So what was up with him having wings? You see that?
I didn't understand.
I didn't, because you couldn't really use them.
We'll use them almost to glide occasionally, so I'm sure it's going to be one of those powers that'll help you reach other areas.
Yeah.
For the most part, but my understanding is they didn't really mess with the formula, right? It doesn't turn into Metroidvania. It's still going to be very, whatever. You're still going to have boss battles. You still have quick time events.
Yeah.
But fuck, dude, he just
really huge buy at launch. Very good
absolutely.
Game. So
yeah,
Dead Space Extraction.
I was really excited about this game.
Ever since this game was announced, I have been shitting all over its face.
I wanted it to be good, dude. I really
how was
did.
it?
Felt like shit.
This game fucking sucks.
Well, I mean, because the whole point is it's on rails for the most part, and then you are pointing and shooting.
Yeah.
And like half the time, it didn't even work. Like
No.
I was like shooting shit, it wasn't dying, running out of ammo constantly.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, because I mean, in Dead Space, you're pacing it. Like, you are conserving ammo like it is water in a desert.
Yes.
And there's like this chess element to it, where it's like, fuck, I need to kill this guy by cutting off his arms with one shot because I have 3 bullets left. And this one is just like 80,000 enemies coming at it, and you're just like, and like you can kind of align your shots to try and cut their arms off, but
it didn't feel solid. Like I remember playing some of these shooter games, which I felt were solid, like Resident Evil, like that one, actually felt pretty good.
That felt good.
Right, the Ghost Squad felt pretty good.
Yes.
This one felt like it just didn't feel right, and I'm sure part of it was because I was hitting their torso and not using the thing. And it's just like, if they're this small, you can't be that exact.
No.
So
it's we didn't need a Dead Space Wii game. Dead Space was make Dead Space 2.
Not on the Wii.
Not on the Wii. Put it on the real fucking console. Like, the Wii is there for shiny kid shit.
Yeah.
Or, Metroid games, like, whatever. There's good stuff on the Wii, but you don't need to try and stick a good game from another console on the...
No.
So, honestly, like, I hated this game.
I'm playing it, I'm like, okay, we had a full, 10 minutes to play, 2-3 minutes, I'm like,
we seriously
done.
put the controls down, we walked
Fuck
away.
this game, yeah. Because we were waiting for Brutal Legend 2, right?
That's what we wanted. We want to play Brutal Legends. It's just everything that we just said. There's no scary pacing because it's just basically you trying to get through a level with a bunch of monsters. There's some survival modes where you survive as long as you can.
And those are the modes we played. Granted, we did not play the story mode, which might do all this stuff. But to me, it's the core things about the mechanics. The mechanics don't feel like I'm shooting somebody, then forget it. So.
Yeah. So this. Bad game.
Next game you played,
Ratchet and Clank: A Crack in Time.
So how was it?
It is so good.
Really?
Seriously, they really stepped up the enemies. Like this is one thing that I noticed. The world got bigger, but you're fighting these big tanks, and it's not just kind of. Before they would throw a lot of enemies at you, and you'd be switching weapons and kind of fighting them off in waves, or whatever. Yeah. But this one. They'd have multi-stage enemies where there'd be like a tank coming at you and you'd have to blow it up and get it to be in a dazed state and you run up and rip a sheet off of the tank and so it's
like more mini bosses. You think?
I think so. I think that they kind of crank the enemies up, so it's not just a horde of small enemies. It's going to be a lot of variety in terms of the enemies that you fight, and of course the weapons are going to be hilarious.
Weapons will be awesome. It seems to me like I was watching somebody play. It seemed like they had a lot of mobility. To this, right? So Ratchet now has some sort of weird skates or something?
Yeah, like jet boots, kind of. And you can you really fly around, because they want to make the worlds big, but Insomniac's really good at keeping you entertained. So if you need to go from here to there and it takes you 20 minutes to walk, you're going to get pissed. So they're like, all right, jet boots, fuck it.
Why not?
Why not?
And it sounds like they also separated Ratchet and Clank again, because I saw some Ratchet Clank only levels.
They always have to do that.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually get to play any Clank only levels, but those tend to be pretty good. Like those started off stupidly simplistic in the early Ratchet and Clank games, and now they've really kind of amped it up where you have to solve very complex puzzles that usually involve Clank and then a bunch of little baby robots that do different things.
Yeah. So it's like they always made Clank kind of like the puzzle side aspects, and Ratchet the other one. So they still kept that sort of economy, right?
Yeah, and we didn't get to see the time stuff.
Oh, I know.
So the big thing is that you're supposed to be able to do this thing with snapshotting somehow, where you do an event and you snapshot it, and then you can play along your parallel self.
Kind of like that braid element of like the purple.
Or times 10 or whatever, the one where
Cursor times 10.
Yeah, Cursor times 10. So we didn't get to see that, but everything I saw.
It doesn't matter though.
It's Ratchet.
You're gonna fucking buy it.
It's Ratchet. It could have been terrible. It could have been 2D. I'm just like, this game was awesome. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like, shut up. It was great.
Well, I liked it. I saw some of the weapons. They had this one weapon with a big dog head. Which I didn't quite understand what was going on there, but it looked ridiculous enough to buy. So
yeah, it was one of those things where I'm like, I was playing it just to go through the motions. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. Just like I thought, I'm buying this game.
Well, I thought you actually would want to stop playing. You're like, no, I got to preserve my Ratchet and Clank virginity of that particular game, right?
Sometimes I feel like that with games that I know are going to be super, super awesome. I'm just like, I don't even want to play. I want the whole thing to be. But I mean, like with Ratchet and Clank, it was just kind of run around in an open world, so I was okay with it. So next up is Split Second.
Yeah, this, and the only reason why I put this on the list was because I think they're doing something that no racing game has done yet. Yeah. Properly. And what is it?
The UI.
The UI is pretty freaking...
The UI is a whole new world. So, like, instead of you being in a cockpit or you having numbers, whatever, it's a dead space. It's a dead space interaction for your car. Like, what does it look like?
I mean, basically, so you're seeing the car, and it looks gorgeous. It looks really, really good. Except on the bottom, you actually have, like, the speedometer, and, like, what lap you are, and all, like, what gear you're in, like, everything about it. It's all just there, and all you're doing is looking at your car. Yeah. And it's perfect.
And it's just, like, this little glowing blue area behind your car. It's just kind of this... It's one of those things where you and I were talking when we saw it. We're like, wow, no one's ever done that before, and now that I've seen it,
doing it.
It's the most obvious thing in the world. It's like, of course you would want that. It's just like having your health on your back in Dead Space. It's just like, integrate this shit. Like, don't have dashboards and don't have that other stuff. Just have it where anyone who's never even played this game before is just like, oh, I know what that is.
Yeah, okay,
I know exactly what that is. So this is going to be a great racing game. And the people we know, Cybermousy and them, that are really into racing games, like they were saying, like this was the best game they saw on the floor.
And they said there's some sort of element where you're fucking people up by changing the track. So there's going to be some sort of Mario Kart element.
Yeah.
Where you either pick up something.
You're setting traps.
You're setting traps, exactly. And then you see them, get taken out. It looks really good. It's not going to be an open world like Burnout, which to me is just like after doing Burnout, like all racing games needs to be like this now. So we'll see how it works. But it looked
pretty good. So next up was Dark Void. Now Dark Void was been sold as a vertical platformer, and we didn't know how that was going to work out. And actually, you played it.
Yeah, I played it.
And you hated it.
Well, I hated certain aspects of it.
This was like a year and a half ago.
This was a year and a half ago. I played it at a Comic-Con, and I hated the air control. Yeah. Because it was really stupid. I hated the hijacking element. Yeah. But the overall combat actually felt pretty good for the most part. And it looks like they fixed everything.
They fixed a lot. Like, this game looks like the shit now. It kind of reminds me... What was that movie with Rocketeer?
Oh, yeah, The Rocketeer.
It kind of reminds me of that thing where he's like strapped on a pack and his body's just flopping around. And it's cool. Like, it makes you feel out of control. Yeah. Where you're not, like, super... you're not awesome at your job yet. And it makes you feel a little bit less bad about fucking up. Yeah. It's very friendly that way.
And it's really weird. Like, that's the UI choice they decided to go with this. Yeah. And, like, they kind of went that way. Because you're just starting out. You're some alien land. All of a sudden, you see a jetpack. So you're learning how to use this just as you as the player is, which is really good. But the vertical platforming is awesome.
And you got to play that more than me. I was doing some of the flying around outside, which I like, but I was watching you play the vertical platform. Like, tell me about that, because that was the shit.
So normally when you're playing, you're playing Gears or anything like that, you're shooting, you get behind cover, you shoot and get behind another. Yeah. They still have that, right? You have that, and the shooting part felt pretty good for the most part. But all of a sudden, you can look up and then use your jetpack to climb and then hit something so you can actually grab and then shoot.
So you'd be like in a silo with a bunch of ledges vertically.
Exactly. And it feels exactly like the other one, except it's this huge, entirely new dimension that you have.
And you can fire up and you can actually turn back around and fire down back behind you, so you're kind of playing in this world where they turn all of platforming on its side.
Yeah. And I think this is just another thing that everybody's going to start copying, do some amazing stuff with, and it felt perfect.
And they did that nice thing that we've talked about before, which is that you can always find out where your next goal is. You're flying around
the Dead Space line.
The Dead Space line. Like now we're using Dead Space for everything because they really did a lot of innovations where you're flying around in Dark Void and you can go around and do other shit, but there's always a dot where it's just like over here is the next plot advancement point. So it would feel a little bit overwhelming if you didn't, because you can fly around fucking everywhere. This world is huge.
Yeah, and you're flying around, you go everywhere, all of a sudden it's just like, oh, what is the thing that I have to do again? Yeah. And that happens a lot during the game, but it's all taken
But it makes you feel very grounded. It's just one of these things where, like, I feel free to go explore because I know that I can always pick up the pace later, like pick up the thread, which is actually one of the complaints I had about the first-gen games that came out on these new consoles, like the Zelda, the first Zelda that came out, a couple of these other ones where it's like, if you put it down and walk away, you come back and you're like, fuck, like I know this game is good, but what am I supposed to do now? And they're making these games so you can jump back in now.
Oh, yeah.
So you can go on vacation for a week and come back and play Dark Void, and you're like, this is where I'm going.
Oh, yeah. Well, like with Layton does the exact same thing. Yeah. Like, I'll take a couple of days in between. It's just like, the story so far, right? And, like, everybody's doing it. It's just making it make more sense. So you can pick up, put down, do whatever.
Absolutely.
How do you like the ending on your demo?
Damn it! So the demo was timed. It was one of these things where it wasn't like an actual ending. I think it was like a 10-minute demo. So I was playing, and there's this whole thing where you're like flying around trying to catch these UFOs. And when you get on them, you got to rip off these metal plates. When you rip off the metal plates, this guy pops out with a gun, and you're shooting him. You got to fight him, whatever.
It took you forever because you were like going, "Oh, you got to go." You were dying all the time.
It was hard. It was really hard. So I finally rip off the plate. The dude comes out. He comes out. And I'm like, ah. And it was just like, demo's over. And they're like, you got to get off. Somebody else is coming on. I was like, ah! I was like, touche, though, because now I want to buy your game. Because it's one of those things. And the guy that was running the demo was like, I couldn't have timed that more perfectly if I wanted to. He's like, that's hilarious. You just got ass raped in front of all these people. So, go Dark Void.
Yes.
That looks really fun.
Thanks for fixing all the stuff, too. That's awesome.
So Splinter Cell Conviction.
Oh, yeah.
Not playable.
Not playable. But what we saw, dude.
It's the future of this kind of game.
Absolutely. I'm not a big Splinter Cell fan. Did you play it?
No, I'm not a big fan either.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like Ubisoft's answer to the Metal Gear series, trying to do the stealth combat action with a lot of story and all this other stuff. And it got kind of old after a while.
Right.
It's just like, okay, do another mission, sneak up on. They're totally like rebooting the entire series of this game.
Oh, absolutely. It's completely different than anyone I've ever played before. I mean, before it was just kind of. I remember having occasional moments of fun in what I thought was mostly a dreary experience.
Yeah.
Where it was just kind of sneaky and just kind of.
It's like stealth. Stealth has like a really boring element, right?
Exactly.
And then they're saying, okay, well, here's the thing. It's now stealth, but you're a panther. Right? And I'm like, I get it, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you're like, you're moving like one and all that, and whatever. But dude, like some of the stuff they're doing, the innovation that they're doing with the UI is awesome.
Yeah. Usually when they say something's a reboot, they're jacking off.
Yeah.
This is a fucking reboot. This is just like, they're doing shit I have never in my life seen before. So it's like the game starts out and you're interrogating this guy that I guess he kidnapped your daughter or some shit.
Killed your daughter, actually.
Killed your daughter. So you're beating the shit out of this guy in a bathroom, and on the bathroom walls is displaying flashbacks. And it's not like
a cutscene.
It's not a cutscene. Well, it's not like it's not a visually distracting element where you can't see where the wall is. They've done these amazing video effects where you feel like you're in that room, but everything becomes a palette. Everything becomes the canvas for which the game plays out on.
Exactly. And like not only that, when you're like going like, what is my next objective or something like that, you'll be walking along, all of a sudden it says infiltrate the museum, like just right on the screen,
just on the side of the museum.
Thank you. That's all. It's so much better than whoop, text coming up.
And it was just so epic the way that they would throw this shit up. I mean, like there's been gameplay videos. I think it was E3 this year where they showed some of this. They showed more this time.
A lot more.
And one of the coolest things I thought was, say you're playing around a building and you're sneaking around trying to kill dudes. If you're up on this ledge and people see you and you jump back down, this white ghost shows up, which is your last known position.
Yeah.
So you can run around and fuck up people, and they're still trying to kill your last known position. That's where they think you are.
Oh, just genius.
Yeah.
So they did a lot of stuff. People were complaining that it could possibly be kind of too easy because you do something, look through the mirror underneath, mark them, and then go and you automatically kill all of them. But it seems to me a lot of it's going to be like reaction and not reacting. It's just like, oh shit, they saw me over there, climb over the edge or do something else. So I think they're going to hopefully.
Wasn't this the one where people complained about it being too easy, and the developers like, dude, I've played through this.
Yes, that's the one.
It's like people were just like, well, that looks a little bit too easy. He's like, well, I've played this 80 times. Like, my job is to make it look easy. When you're playing this, it's not gonna be. And you can't give a demo where you die 50 times. It's just like, oh fuck, oh this boss is so hard. Oh, that guy killed me. Like you have to be the shit when you demo a game. So,
and when you get, as a player, when you get to be that good, that's when you start feeling awesome.
Yeah, that's right. So, And the whole thing in this too is just like it's all about reacting to different environments, and you can play a level a different way. Like the way they played through it this time was different than the demo at E3.
Oh yeah, well the guy was even saying like he has a script. The guy who's presenting it, and there's a guy playing it. He's like, okay, now he's going to do this, and he's like, okay, you just went off script there, but that was awesome. Do that next time. Because the AI acted differently. All the people acted differently. You can't
stick to the script when the game's that good.
I know.
So I am for once excited about a Splinter Cell game.
I hope Ubisoft don't fuck this up, because you made me excited about Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
You made us excited about Prince of Persia and fucked us twice.
You fucked us twice. Those games were terrible. terrible.
Don't do that with this one or with Assassin's Creed 2, because I'm pumped.
I'm willing to give Assassin's Creed 2 a chance, and this one I'm actually genuinely excited about. I want to take a second here to point out the fact that we have never been to a game review or a convention where we come back this excited about so many games. Like,
I know.
How many games have we said are bad? Like almost
3,
none. Like we said,
Mag. Dantes Inferno.
Dead Space.
That's it.
But I mean, most, and like if you look at the rest of the games we're talking about today, we're in a really good time for gaming. Like, shit is good.
I know, and it's going to be good not only just this fall, which, like a lot of good games are coming out.
Yeah.
But, dude, like, the first half of next year.
Awesome.
So
all these games, like, I came away from PAX so happy to be a gamer right now because I came away, I'm just like, oh my god, there's 20 games I'm looking forward to playing. Which is, it's a great feeling
Seriously,
to have.
Dude. Like, I want to play all these today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Speaking of games we want to play.
Deathspank!
Woo! Deathspank.
This is Ron Gilbert's new game.
Who's Ron Gilbert?
Ron Gilbert is the guy who did Monkey Island. So he has, with Tim Schafer and all the other guys. I was a little worried about Ron Gilbert because he had a big part in the Penny Arcade Adventures, which we did not like.
We did not like at all.
But this one looks good.
So he describes it as Monkey Island meets Diablo 2.
Done.
It's like, I like both of those things. Yeah, hold on. I will give you money for that. But he did, what do you call it? Forced circular perspective. Perspective. Point is, it's got a worldview unlike anything I've ever seen before.
It's almost like you're the little prince on your on your globe.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can actually see the horizon curve.
Yeah.
And that's the entire game.
But the weird thing about it is it's not a horizon curve that's small as in Mario Galaxy, where you're on a globe of this size. It's you can always see over the horizon, but the world is fucking enormous. And it ends up it's hard to describe until you see it. Hopefully I can find some gameplay.
Mario Galaxy is a pretty...
It's close.
They did kind of do it, I guess, now that I think about it.
It's close, but I mean, it unfolded in a different way. Like this is obviously kind of compressing things that are far so you can see them as opposed to actually spherical worlds.
And there's like a huge quest-based system.
Yes.
Right? The dialogue is actually really good.
The comedy is hilarious.
I didn't think
he went to get his sword from like Bob the Retired, and he was like, formerly Bob the Bitter, formerly Bob the Magnificent. It's just little things like that. I mean, you can see that Ron Gilbert still has the writing chops.
Yes, absolutely. And and like.
So what's the game like?
So the game is it's Diablo 2 and Monkey Island.
Yes, it is.
You are Deathspank, this knight, I guess, and you're going around, solving quests, and you're doing all sorts of other stuff, killing random stuff, picking up all sorts of random things too.
Yeah.
So there's
like 200 different weapons. Like, the point
and weapons are actually really hilarious.
Yeah, and that's what the guy that was demoing it said. He was just like, we just wanted to find a lot of hilarious ways to fuck people up. Like, it was just hilarious violence is honestly our goal, and that sounds great to me.
I'll take an axe of cleaving. And then
we didn't get the story on what console it's going to be.
They said it's in discussions,
yes.
But I think they've been developing it on Xbox Live Arcade or Xbox Live. I'm not sure if it's going to be a full game or not.
And I don't think we got the story on co-op either. Like they were still a little bit like, we're
not sure. It feels like a single player game.
It does. It does, but it would be pretty badass multiplayer. Mm-hmm. So next up is Dragon Age Origins.
Wow.
I wasn't excited about this game. I honestly didn't know anything about it.
Well, I had seen a lot of the videos and all that, and everything looked really like kind of just gray and kind of like boring for the most part. So I was like, BioWare's had a number of good hits for a while, but this is probably going to be their one miss.
Yeah.
And shit, dude, it looks really good.
It was really good. It was like
really good.
It was like it was one of those big surprises for me where we came away from this and it's like a first person. It's a single player. It's a single player only game that feels like an MMO.
And I think specifically the lead designer who we talked to, he said that it's a massively single-player role-playing
which is a great quote. Like that's exactly what it feels like. But the thing that really stuck with me was the fluidity of switching characters.
Oh yeah. So I think you get 4 in your party.
Yes.
Right, and then you do different. Each one is like your different role, like your cleric and all that. And like the action bar was really interesting.
Yeah.
So how did that work? Like you got the.
So you would pop back and forth. So if you're the fighter, you've got 4 commands for the 4 buttons, and then if you hold down the right trigger, you get 4 more.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like an MMO in that
Pretty
sense,
much
where
like
you've got like the 8 items on the bottom row.
And one's like a taunt if you're the fighter. The other one's like, whatever.
Shield bash,
healing.
attack, healing, whatever. And then, but the cool thing is, you're like fighting these guys. Boom! You hit the left shoulder button. Now you're the wizard, and the wizard's back here, and those guys are still up fighting. You can cast like whatever, like ice bolt, or do this cool blowtorch thing that they were doing.
That was like the cone of fire or whatever.
The cone of fire. That's right. So it felt really good, and the quests were really easy to pick up, and the world just felt enormous. Like, and the dialogue was actually modern. It was modern and humorous instead of this joyless pulp that is all RPGs. That turns me off so much on RPGs. Like, ye sir of grand lord, save my daughter from the blood. Like,
most D&D dialogue or role-playing dialogue is written by developers in the first place. That's why it sucks. So if this one feels good because they took the whole Mass Effect thing where it's all very cinematic, and they're applying it to every single game. So Dragon Age Origins feels like you're watching the cinematic thing. Same thing with the Old Republic.
Yes.
A bunch of other BioWare games. So man, and the thing is, the combat system reminds me a lot of Baldur's Gate. Do you ever remember Baldur's Gate?
Yeah.
So I played the fuck out of that game, and then I'm playing this. I'm like, for some reason, I don't know
It
why.
reminded you of it?
Because it's sort of turn-based.
Yeah.
Normally it's just you're fighting, and also you can pause the thing, go to each guy, tell them to do something different.
Yeah. And that's what they said you could do in this too. Is you could line up events if you really, really want to micromanage. You can pause it and kind of get all 4 dudes doing what you want.
And you might need to sometimes. The AI was pretty good, but some places were like there are archers that were fucking you up, and you need to go kill them out. So.
Yeah. So I was crazy impressed by this game.
November.
So next up was Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah. So we got to play this. It does feel like Left 4 Dead.
it feels like Left 4 Dead. I mean, like it's a good game.
It feels a little better to me. I like the fact because the main reason is because of the additional zombies.
Yeah.
The other zombies are pretty cool. One's called the Jockey, so it rides you, and then you lose control of your character.
That's right. And there was the melee weapon edition stuff.
Yeah, which I didn't like too much actually.
Yeah, I liked the sword. So I picked up the sword.
The guitar. It kind of sucked.
Yeah, guitar's not so cool. I mean, the sword, I was fucking stuff up. So, I mean, I kind of felt cool, whereas, I actually ran out of ammo. I found a sword. So it was one of those, it kind of gives you that moment of, oh, thank God. You're like, ah!
Were you slicing? Were the zombies, cutting off
they were just blowing apart, just little blood bags. So, I mean, it's good.
I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of still annoyed the fact that they did a year, but it's Left 4 Dead. Everyone's going to be playing, so whatever.
Still should have been an add-on.
Yeah.
So next up is Scribblenauts. Scribblenauts is pretty sweet.
Pretty impressive. We put in a lot of different words.
Yeah.
Did you put your mom?
Your mom.
And it worked.
Your mom works, which is awesome.
I think you had a zombie mom. That's the thing I think.
Yeah, you're, and then I believe HP did your fat mom, and it showed up with a fat zombie.
Yes.
Which is pretty funny. So we talked to the developers. They did a lot. They've done lots and lots and lots of fine tuning in terms of what you can summon. This is exactly this game is exactly what we thought it's going to be. It's going to be kind of a creativity fest of how to solve puzzles with just the weirdest shit you can think of.
The entire dictionary, for the most part.
Yeah.
So anyway, the thing is, it's coming out next week, so we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll review it when it actually comes out. Super Mario Brothers Wii.
Wow, I kind of liked it, dude.
It was great. It was really fun.
But I'm worried because it's going to be a co-op game at home. They're not going to do an online component, so I'm not going to want.
I know. I'm only going to play it single player, which makes me so sad.
We were having fun. I mean, we were going around fucking each other up, stomping each other, and it's going to be a really good game locally.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things where it's if you have 4 people to play this together, damn it, you're going to have a good time. And it's just I might have to just have people over for a party or just get people over, get some beers, play some Mario.
Have we ever done that ever with any of their online games?
No.
One of these days.
But we'll see. But I mean, the point is Super Mario Brothers Wii is going to be awesome. It feels really good. And the co-op works beautifully.
Really, really well. Yeah.
Wish it was online. Mm-hmm. Really, really wish it was online.
Come on, Nintendo, get on the frickin' program.
Yep, and then last up was No More Heroes 2.
Yes, No More Heroes 2. So it kind of feels like No More Heroes 1.
It feels exactly like No More Heroes 1, which I like No More Heroes 1 a lot.
Yeah.
So I will definitely play this when it comes out.
Yeah, I did not get any of the toilet paper, unfortunately.
So they had No More Heroes toilet paper in the bathrooms at PAX, and I wiped my ass with it.
Oh, really?
Yes, I did. I am proud to say.
I did not have to go, unfortunately.
I brought you the toilet paper.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, here you go.
Can I have it for my memento bag? But no, it's people were saying, because they had these huge things, and they were actually sealed ones, which I wanted to steal. But I was I felt a little creepy, but I was just going under looking, just making sure that there was, every single one was unsealed, and I didn't want to get,
peed upon toilet paper.
Yeah, you don't want that, unfortunately.
So that was all the games. My goodness, did we talk a long time.
Holy shit. Hopefully you guys enjoyed.
Yeah, so to just give you an overview, what's going to happen this next couple weeks is we have an army of NooBTooBers pouring through literally tens of gigabytes of video footage from our PAX-a-thon, and we're going to start giving you guys really good coverage. So what kind of videos are we going to put together?
Okay, so we have quite a number. We're going to have the NooBTooB Kickle Fest, which was huge.
It's a yearly tradition.
We're going to have the NooBathon.
Yes.
So that was the big,
32 players, only one may survive. They get a free PSP.
Yep, and congratulations, Aethes.
Aethes? Whoa, yeah.
Yeah, or congratulations for
whoever won.
Yeah. And we also have, of course, our wonderful shaving.
Yes, so we did go through with the shaving of Lucian. He was a trooper. He showed up and he sat there while all the NooBTooBers shaved his head. So basically, we're going to put together a lot of awesome videos of all these NooBTooB events. We had such a good time with all of this stuff, and we can give you a quick overview of what PAX was like for us, and then you're going to get to see these other things as they come down the line.
Exactly.
So Friday, what happened?
All right, so we had the Kickle Fest, which actually went a lot quicker this time around.
We're getting better at Kickle. So yet again, we had to go and battle these shitheads. These guys that do a good job. They're trying to do a good job, but it's very uncoordinated. So they had this big room where you could rent consoles. You get all the consoles you want for free. You just go and put your name in. You can play games all night, which is awesome. On the other hand, you're only allowed to do it for half an hour, so when you have events like us where we're trying to take over an event for like 3 or 4 hours, some of these guys get a little power hungry and they start kind of trying to push us around.
To their credit, they did let us use that one station for the entire night.
I
understand, but it was they were cool at the end, and we had some leftover pizza and we gave it to them. So.
Yes, so we also bought pizza for all the NooBTooBers.
Oh yeah.
And why were we able to do that?
So we were able to do that from donations from all you guys.
Yes.
So thank you very much, everybody that's donated. We got 15 huge pizzas. It was awesome.
So this week, in fact, we got donations from Stephen, Mark, and Ludwig.
Yes, thank you very much.
All of this stuff is that's how we do things like give away a PSP to the winner. That's how we order 15 extra large pizzas. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, all the NooBTooBers ate for free because of you guys. Like, this is how we build the community. This is how we reward people for staying around. I mean, like, thank you so much for making this possible.
And I almost forgot. We should actually, definitely give a plug for Saturday night.
Yeah, Saturday.
So Saturday night, we did GameWorks. We took it over. We played all sorts of games, DDR contests, all sorts of crazy stuff. But didn't we get a little nice?
We were sponsored by OnLive. You guys have all heard about OnLive.
Oh, yeah.
So what did OnLive do?
So OnLive, they're doing all of the big online game playing all through the pipe. So you're doing everything through a browser or this little tiny console box. Is going to be like the future of gaming.
Right. So they basically make it so you don't have to have a high-powered PC to play games. Yep. They're coming out sometime next year. They're still building all their infrastructure.
They're doing betas right now.
Yeah, they're doing betas right now. But they said NooBTooBers drink for free. Say what? Yeah. So we got open bar all night. NooBTooBers were just getting drunk on Live's dime. So hell yes.
Awesome.
Thank you very much for that. Anybody else that wants to sponsor our drinking in the future, we will also orally fillet you on the air.
Pretty much.
Verbally.
We will do
Maybe I should have said verbally fillet. No, it still doesn't work. It's still just dirty.
Yeah, but for free beer, we will do, especially free beer for all of the community.
Oh, yeah. I will sell Yuzo's ass down the river for free beer.
It's going to cost a lot more than that.
And then, so last up was Sunday. Sunday we got everybody together for an actual, before it was kind of gaming, it was this and that. Yeah. We had the NooBathon final, which is like the final gaming, every day to play the Burger King games.
Yeah, that was
which was evil. But then we got everybody outside.
Yeah.
And that's when we started kind of putting together like NooBTooB, just like kind of the essence of NooBTooB. Like, let's get some live shit going on.
Absolutely. And we had to go outside to actually shave Lucian's head, which everybody got to do. So we had this huge line.
Yeah.
And I got it, I took this nice big chunk out, and Locke got it because of editing that awesome video that he did. And
so we did that. We did a rock, paper, scissors competition, which was epic. Everybody got to answer 7 questions about themselves.
Shit, that video's coming out. Yeah,
and we're going to do a huge video about that, just kind of a compilation of just, like a cross-section of the NooBTooB community and a little bit about themselves.
Yeah.
So we had so much fun. If you didn't come to PAX, we did have too much fun.
Especially on Thursday night.
You still look like a homeless Ronin.
You can't
even bother to shave, dude.
No, I was fucking sick all week. Damn you, whoever gave that call.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't get super drunk on Thursday night. No. That might not have been the smartest thing, but it was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
So thank you, everybody that came out. And next year, if you guys didn't come out this year, come out next year. PAX gets bigger every year. We had 4 people the first year. We had 30 people last year. This year we had like 75 people.
75, so it's doubling almost every year.
And that's at the events.
Yeah.
Like total, we had well over 100 NooBToobers. Like some people couldn't come out for the events, whatever, but people wearing the shirts around. People were coming up and talking to us in public. Oh. NooBTooB fucking owned PAX this year. And next year we want like twice that shit.
Yeah, NooBTooB. I think we might have to get our own room next year or something like that.
I think we should totally get our own room.
Yes.
For Rilla. So I don't think we have any time for voicemails.
You're lucky because there's a lot of fucking Eat Lead Sucks voicemails right here.
All I remember is that there was a bunch of voicemails saying Eat Lead was no. I deleted that shit.
Wait, what?
Eat Lead is the best game ever made. But yeah, we'll save these for next week. We're like all you guys hold tight. If you send in a good voicemail, we've got a list that. We're such fucking loudmouths. We didn't even get
dude.
to.
But hopefully, I mean, there's a lot of games, dude.
Yes, and hope you guys liked the reviews of all these games. I hope you're as excited as we are for what's coming down the pipe.
And there's going to be at least a bunch of PAX videos midweek.
Yes,
we're going to TGS in a week and a half.
I know. What the hell? And then, so you guys will get PAX videos while we're in Tokyo, fucking next week.
I know.
Next week.
I'm not ready.
I'm not ready either. I got to pack. If you guys want to see anything while we're in Tokyo, send in voicemails, send in emails.
Or post comments on the YouTube saying, what do you want to see?
Yeah. So let us know if there's anything, because I mean, last time we went to Tokyo, we saw a bunch of stuff. If there was anything we missed or anything you want to see more of, we'll take videos. Let us know.
And we'll be at TGS. Like cosplayers, we'll take a lot of stuff of.
Yes, we'll get lots of cosplayers. And we'll get lots of wacky technology shit from the floor on TGS.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Because we got press passes.
Yeah, press.
All right, so.
We fooled everyone. Ha ha!
Little did they know. All right, that's our show for the week. Please check out our website at NooBTooB.com, participate in our forums by clicking at the community tab at the top of the page.
Hell yeah, and if you're watching this video on YouTube, there's a subscription button right over there. Also, rate this video with 5 stars by touching my left leg or my right leg.
It's a little sore from all the action you got at PAX.
You guys saw that video of people rubbing up those saucy Brits.
I know.
They're always up on my junk.
What is up with that?
I don't think they know where the line is. So that's all for this episode. I'm Tobin Kozai.
And I'm Yuzo Watanabe. Audio engineering is done by Range Road Trip Fail.
Oh, you pussy.
Damn you. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.
Route!
See ya. Let's go through that. Oh yeah, look at that beard. Comes out really dark.
Yeah, you take a homeless samurai.
That's right.